All right, all right, all right. Let's see if I can. Yeah, that seems about good. All right. Well, welcome to the very fourth episode. Welcome to the fourth episode of the podcast under the Moonlight, also known as the Moonlight Podcast. I actually found another podcast called the Moonlight Podcast. I searched before, and I couldn't find it. But then my uncle came this past like 2 or 3 weeks ago for my baby brother's graduation, which I'm so proud of. I had a huge problem with him for like the longest time after he charged me up and tried to fight me. But like after seeing him walk across that stage and just get ready for he's ready for college and everything. Like I'm so proud of him. Uh, but anyway, my uncle showed up and I told him about my podcast. Tried to look it up, and we actually found that there's an actual podcast called the Moonlight Podcast. I don't know if they've updated recently at all. But it doesn't matter because we're still gonna call my podcast the Moonlight Podcast. But officially, it's the podcast under the Moonlight because that's such a different and unique name. It's pretty. I feel like you could type that in and find this pretty easily. Anyway, so it's been it's been a month since I've last done this. Excuse me while I adjust the microphone a little bit. Um, it's been a month since I've done this, and the reason for that is that I have tried to move out. I've been trying to move out. I've said it before that pretty soon I'm going to be moving out. I started this podcast like shortly before it was time for me to start moving out, and now it is time. And so that's pretty much why I haven't uploaded anything about a month and a half. But I did say that today. I don't know who I said this to, but I did say that today. This is the 15th. That this would be the day that a podcast would go up. And so here we are. It's just been, like I said, like I always say, it's gotten difficult and annoying to record around my family moving around the house and whatever. I used to just deal with it and record around them, but like I've gotten to the point where like I'm worn down. It's been an entire year now. Like next month, at the end of this month, it will have been a year since I've moved back in with my mom, and that has just worn on me. I'm tired now. I don't care. Uh, so anyway, I'm going to be recording through everything. I'll try to repeat things if like there happens to be loud noise. Like I'm pretty sure my brother's gonna show up in about 10 minutes. He's gonna walk through the door. The door is loud. Blah blah blah. I'm right next to the door. Whatever. I'm gonna record through that. Not just because I'm tired of trying to record around them, but because I want you to hear just how much noise. It might not even be that much noise. I think there was one time when I said there's going to be noise and it wasn't that much noise. But I want you to hear it. Because the next time we do a podcast, the next episode or the episode after that, one of these next two episodes, and this is for real this time, I'm going to be in a new home. Last time I said that, and I made miscalculations. During the entire month of May, where I was looking for houses, I picked a bunch of places where I could not move into. I mean, I probably can, but there's just like a lot of extra steps that I have to go through, and I'm not really trying to do all that right now. My credit's not that good, and whatever. That's the type of stuff that yeah I don't want to have to deal with. So whatever to that. I'm not really trying to put down a big deposit, even though I have the money to do it. I don't want to do that. I'm telling you too much. That's not important. What's important is that that's been the reason why I haven't put out a podcast. I found places to live. Have to start over now. And plus I have a bunch of changes at work. Like I said before, my building is shutting down, and people are moving to a bunch of different buildings within the job. And as the building, I'm going to be one of the last few people there. So as the building gets closer and closer to the shutdown date, we start to have less and less people, which means things have to change up. And it's just, it's kind of stressful, but it's kind of not. We have like one more week left, I think. I think this next week is going to be the last week. And then I'm in that new building. And that new building, I'm not ready for it because nobody knows me there. Well, there are going to be people, but like basically I have to start over. I was almost an assistant manager, and now I'm going to be like a level 1 grunt again. And I'm not ready for that because I probably know more than the managers there. So the fact that I have to start all the way over and have to appeal to them and just like show them what I can do and be a team player, good sport, whatever. No, I'm not with that. Like I know more than you. Respect me. Anyway, I also I wasn't just like not doing anything at all for the podcast. I did collect notes last month. What I was going to do was I was going to talk about the whole situation with Pro Jared, because there was a lot of crap just happening in May, in the month of May, aside from my birthday. Which, by the way, shout out to you probably not. He's probably not even listening to this anymore. But yo, shout out to Walker for the birthday wish. Vulture, Daniel, shout out to both of y'all for the birthday wish. Really appreciate that. And these are all these shout outs are in my last notes. Shout out to Chris if you're listening, because I'm probably gonna be sending you this. At least that's what the plan originally was back in May. Now this is June, and I don't know. But yeah, I was like, there was so much happening last month with the I was gonna bring up the Pokemon community again because it was gonna tie in with the whole thing with Pro Jared. I was gonna talk about how Etika was back, but not much. I was gonna mention it. And just it was just the thing with James Charles and Trisha Paytas, who I don't even know who the hell that is, and I don't know what the hell is going on with her. But I just know that all these things was just going on last month, and it was just a thing. But after I had gotten all of the information for the thing with Pro Jared, I realized, like, I don't know, I just didn't want to do it anymore. I didn't want to talk about Pro Jared. For anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about, what's going on. Pro Jared, who is he's a YouTuber. He has this scandal going on right now where it has to do with infidelity and soliciting children, or allegedly soliciting children for sex. Even though I think there are receipts and whatever, receipts being photo, not photo, just screenshots. But that's whatever. I just at a certain point I just didn't want to talk about it anymore. But I just had all of this information. I didn't know what to do with it because I didn't want to just delete it. So I just kind of sat on it for a while, just decided to wait and see what I felt later, and I ended up just completely forgetting about it while I was looking for jobs. So all of that just kind of sat here, and I didn't get any more information about anything. It's been 7 minutes. Oh my god, it's been 7 minutes and I haven't talked about what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about for this episode is E3 though, because E3 just happened this week, and there's a lot that I'm excited for, and a few things that I'm just interested in. So that's what I really want to talk about. The whole thing with Jared is just whatever. It's really weird, but nobody seems to be doing anything about the thing with him and the children. Nobody seems to be really looking into it. Doesn't seem like, and that's the thing that just seems to be common. Because like I think that's exactly what also happened with the whole thing with the Pokemon community. There were a few people who were exposed to have been predators or whatever, and I don't think there's an investigation going on with that either. If there is, I haven't kept up with it in a while. But I really wanted to talk about that because I wanted to be I've always wanted to be a part of the Pokemon community, making videos for Pokemon related content, because that's one of the things that I just know more than anything else I know, probably. I don't know. But the whole thing with the Predator thing, that just made me kind of like turn off to the idea of doing that. But whatever. So now that I've gotten all of that out the way, the reasons why, what's been going on, let's talk about E3. So E3, I first of all didn't get to watch everything. I don't think I got to watch Digital Revolver's conference. I didn't get to see the PC conference, and I think there was supposed to be a VR thing that I didn't get to see. There was one thing from Konami I did not get to see that either. They're supposed to have an announcement at the very, very end of E3. I think they were the last ones, and I completely missed that and then forgot about it, even though I was 100% planning to watch it. But what I did get to see was I got to see EA's thing with Jedi Fallen Order, and that looked nice. I got to see the Microsoft, got to see Bethesda. I only got to, I missed 30 minutes of Microsoft's, like the first 30 minutes. So there are a few things there that I missed, but I don't think I really care about what that was anyway. If I do, I'll talk about it some other time. Bethesda, I watched. Ubisoft, I watched. Square Enix and Nintendo. So starting off with Jedi Fallen Order. That game looks nice. I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, and as a matter of fact, I think I had only just actually gotten into it like about, like I think sometime at the end of 2015. No, the beginning of 2000. When was it? 2000? No, actually, I think it was 2015. I think it was in May because I know it was around my birthday, and I was gonna watch like the entire, like all the first six movies with my mom, who's a huge sci-fi fan. She's into Star Wars, and her favorite is Star Trek. So like I was just gonna watch those. I did watch those with her. My brother's tapped out. Anyway, so Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. My God, is it's a really good looking game. I like the combat. They show gameplay, which is something that's not happening a lot this E3. They showed gameplay, and it looked really beautiful. I don't know the story at all, but I don't really care. I'll figure it out when I get to play it. But I am definitely interested in seeing this game. But unfortunately for me, it's not gonna be a day one. This game comes out this year, this November 15th. But like it's just not gonna be a day one for me. Like if anything, I'm probably not gonna end up getting it until day like 7:30 or something like that. Like it's just there are so many games coming out, and there are so many games that I already have that I'm not playing, and I'm trying to get to playing, that I'm really trying to be selective about the games that I buy. And unfortunately, Jedi Fallen Order is not going to be one of them. But I did see that game, and I do really think that it looks good, and I want to see, I want to play it. So that was all I have for EA. I didn't really pay attention to EA, and I think I might have intended to skip it, but then like it just ended up being on for me or something like that. I don't know what I was doing with Microsoft's conference, because I missed the first 30 minutes of it. I think I was God, what the hell was I doing? I think I said it. I recorded my reaction to it. But somehow the audio and the video are completely off sync, and that pisses me off to no end. But there's just I'm still trying to figure out what I can do about it. But I don't really want to release it anymore because I don't think anybody cares anymore. I started off with that RPG. I didn't get a chance to actually look up and see what that game was, but like when I hopped into the conference, they were on this pencil and paper looking RPG game. I have to look up what that is, because that game looks dope as hell. And that's something that I really want to play. It looks like it would probably be like a $15, maybe $30 or $40 game. Let me see. RPG. No, hell no, not Maker. Microsoft. It's not a Microsoft. I don't know what it is. Paper paper game. I don't know what to look up. Anyway, it looked. Oh, is that what it is? RPG Time: The Legend of Right. I think that's what it is. So that's the game. Take pen to paper in a serious way in this new trailer for RPG Time: Legend of Right. Right being spelled with a W, but also being play on words on writing. Anyway, it looked great. I mean, I'm huge into RPGs, so when I saw that, I was like, yo, I have to see what this game is about. It looked like it had so much to it. That was I don't know how I completely forgot to write that down in my notes, but I forgot about that. One thing I completely missed was the fact that Keanu Reeves is apparently going to be in Cyberpunk 2077. I don't know if he's going to be the main character. Well, we're the main character. Excuse me. Ignore me. He's going to be the main character. He's going to be a character in Cyberpunk 2077. Probably going to be one that you interact with a lot because he's Keanu Reeves, and he's I don't know. He was. Oh yeah, he was at the show. That's what I completely missed. He was at the show, and then he revealed himself, which was on the trailer. In the trailer, he revealed himself in the trailer, which was dope. Um, and I don't know. It just from what I heard, it was really dope. I saw bits and pieces of it, and I was like, oh, crazy. That's crazy. But I'm honestly, as much as I'm into Cyberpunk, I really want to see Cyberpunk 2077 come out, and I really want to play it. It's coming out April 16th, 2020, possibly. Yeah, I feel like it's gonna get pushed back. Uh, but I really do want to play that game. That one to me might be a day one. But at the same time, I'm not really, for some reason, I'm not interested in actually learning about it. I feel like I know all that I'm gonna know. I've never really been into Cyberpunk stuff. So I feel like this is as excited as I'm gonna get. Like looking at it and thinking to myself that it's a day one buy. I think that's as far as I'm gonna get personally. Um, but yeah, that happened. I missed that, but like I said, I came in on the uh, the Legends of Right trailer. And after that, I don't know exactly what happened after that. I don't have like the actual sequence of things, but the things that stood out to me, that's all I'm going to talk about. The things that really stood out to me. 12 minutes. This game called 12 minutes. It's a game that basically has I keep wanting to say multiple choice. It's not multiple choice. It has branching paths that depend on the actions that you take in the game. It's about it takes place in a small apartment. It takes place in this guy's apartment, and he keeps repeating. I guess it's the same 12 minutes. 12 minutes doesn't seem like a long time, but like that, I guess it really is when you're trying to do whatever it is. He keeps going through a 12-minute cycle, trying to figure out whatever the hell it is he has to figure out. It involves his wife, and she's like the trailer showed that like she killed her dad, but she tried to cover it up. But there's like somebody coming to kill her, and so like the husband, he's just like, yo, he's telling her all this stuff. He's like I know what you want to say. You want to say this. You want to say that. And you want to say all this stuff. But there's a man who's coming, and he's going to kill you, and you have to tell me, whatever. It was really dope. What I really got excited about was the fact that I had heard about this game, like 2 or 3 years ago. And I only heard the concept of it. I only heard like somebody had played it, had tried it out at like 2 or 3 E3s ago, and they were talking. They were just talking about it, and just from them talking about it, like no gameplay. I didn't see any gameplay at all. Just them talking about it. I was like, yo, I have to play this game. Actually, I think it was a 2000. God, I don't know, 2016, 2017, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, ever since then, I really wanted to play that game, but like I completely lost track of it. I forgot about the name and all this other stuff. Didn't know how to look for it, so it just disappeared. And then all of a sudden, it shows up here, and I lost my mind when I saw that. I was like, oh my god, this is that game. So that really stuck out to me, and it does not have a release date. It's coming out sometime in 2020, 20 maybe. I feel like this definitely has to come out because like it was supposed to have come out like a long time ago, and it didn't. But now it's uh, now it has a trailer. It's just I don't know. I can't believe that game is has resurfaced. I thought that game had gotten canceled, man. I'm so happy to see that game. Um, so yeah, that was a thing, and then Fantasy Star Online too. I've known about Fantasy Star Online too. I don't know, back when I got the Switch, because it's been I know it's probably I know it's on PC too, but I saw it on the Switch. I saw it on the Switch, and that made me think that and I think they said that there was a release that was talking about how it was getting like it was getting new. Oh no! What it was that the announcement was that it was coming to the Switch on the Japan site, and that got me excited, because I was like, oh crap! If it's coming to the Switch for Japan, then it's probably gonna come to America on the Switch. Come to the Switch on America. Anyway, I was kind of right. My friends told me that there was like I could download the Japanese thing on PC and download the patch, which is not something I generally do. It's not like it's a lot of hoops for me to jump through, but It's just something that I just don't care enough to do. But anyway, yeah, it's apparently coming to, I guess, the Xbox, because it was in the Microsoft. I didn't really see what all it was coming to, but like I guess it's an exclusive to Xbox. I think that's what they said. So that is something that I'm excited for. Final Fantasy Star Online 2. I don't think I got a release date. I couldn't find a release date for that, but whatever. I'll figure it out later. It's definitely coming. Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite was a thing. It showed cinematic like a lot of things did at E3. But the fact that it was a thing, it was like, all right, that's cool. I've only gotten to play the first one. I've had the Master Collection. I had to sell it for reasons that I don't remember. I think I might have even had 5 at one point, but I didn't get a chance to play that either. But I'm definitely gonna play all of those games because I've actually no I played I actually played 3 at my uncle's house, and we played against each other, and my uncle made me stay up for hours. We played over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And this was legit the night before I had to, like, my uncle lives in Maryland, and I had to go back home the next day. I had to like get on the plane back home the next day. But he kept me up until like 2 in the morning, like just playing over and over and over again, trying to beat me. Like, dude could not beat me, so he kept me there and just like was like, no, play another game. We just kept playing and playing and playing until he beat me, because I legit dozed off like 3 times within that last match. So yeah, I'm excited for Halo Infinite to come out, because I'm gonna play all those games. I'm excited for the Xbox Game Pass, which is just kind of an idea that I was really hoping for when I learned about the Game Pass Ultimate. The Game Pass Ultimate is an idea that I was really hoping for when I found out that the Game Pass and the Xbox Gold were 2 different things, and they both cost base of $10 each. That kind of like blew my mind when I figured that out, and I bought both of them, and they just like, I didn't really use them, and they kind of just sat on my account for a while, just taking money out without me using them. And so I was just confused. I was like, why, how could they not think to just like put these 2 things together to make the payments kind of easy? I don't know, but that's something that I was really happy to see. The Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, I think it's called. It comes with the PC gold for PC. Gold for the consoles, and then like I'm pretty sure the pass for both. Don't know, whatever. Unless the pass is only for one of them, whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyway, so that, and then like they had it for $1. They had it for $1 during the for the week of E3, which, so I don't know if that's still right now, because this is the end of the week. This is the 15th, and I did hear that it was still going on for the 14th. So I'm not sure how that actually works out. And I also don't know how long that lasts. And I never bothered to look it up. I got it as soon as possible, and I was like, yeah, we in this. But yeah, that was just a really great idea to me. So that made me happy to see. And I immediately, like me and my boys, we downloaded State of Decay 2 and Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves I did not care about for the longest, mostly because it was developed by Rare, and I just wanted them to do what I wanted them to do. And since they weren't doing that, I was just like, fuck them in any game that they come out with. And then on top of that, Sea of Thieves, like when it first came out, it was just like people were just not happy with it. But the reception's gotten better. They say that they've been taking care of the game, and so me and my boys tried it, and oh my god, that game is fun. That game is fun, and it's definitely not a game that I would have bought otherwise. Had it, like, even hearing about how fun it was, it's definitely not something I would have gotten without the Game Pass, especially for $1. And State of Decay 2, because I also didn't hear too many good things about that. Like, I loved the first State of Decay, but just like hearing about the second State of Decay and how it wasn't doing that well at first, and just me not really like, I the whole reason I was happy about State of Decay 2 was the whole multiplayer thing, and since I didn't really know anybody who was going to be playing that with me when it was announced. Oh my god, I'm sorry. God, stop hitting the table. I just wasn't really interested in it at first. But then turns out my boys are interested in it, and we played that. We played the hell out of that. I got some gameplay from both of these games, and I am really hoping that I can push that out, because my editing software is acting up, and I think it's more of my PC. But whatever. Game Pass Ultimate, that was a thing, and it's gonna. I think it's gonna be 15 a month. So that's dope. It's not gonna be 20. I really like the hell out of that. It's just like what, $5 less, but that makes all the difference to me. So yeah, the one thing that did not make me happy at all to see was the fact that they somehow kinda announced the Xbox Scarlet. That was a really disappointing whatever the hell that was. Cause it wasn't. They didn't show anything. They didn't show anything at all. They showed a bunch of chips and motherboards and shit, and I was just like, I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at. I am not this savvy into this stuff to just be like, oh, that's the blah 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 whatever. Like I don't. And then they just kept bringing the developers on and just talking about the things that they liked, and I was like, I don't give a fuck about what you're talking about. Just show me the Xbox. I want to see what this looks like. I'm gonna get it. I've had the original Xbox One since it came. Well, not since it came out. I have the special Call of Duty Infinite. I think it's Infinite Warfare one. Because I was really excited to get into Infinite Warfare or whatever, and then I barely played the hell out of. I barely played it at all. So I'm still stuck with 500 gigabytes with that. It's crazy. So I'm really excited to get get this new Xbox. I'm gonna hop on that. I'm gonna skip everything in between and just get Xbox Scarlet. But they didn't show shit. I was like, I want to see what the hell I'm gonna buy. No. Jeez. Anyway, so that was all that stood out to me for the Microsoft conference. After that was Bethesda, which was I've never been able to get into Bethesda stuff. Like I like seeing that they come out with games, and I like people's reception to all the games. I respect Bethesda to an extent, but I have so many of I have I have Skyrim, and I have all of the Fallout games except for 76. I have all the Fallout games, but for some reason I just can't get. I think I have Wolfenstein 2, and I'm pretty sure I have Dishonored 1 and 2. I am crazy when it comes to buying games. Like I buy them and then just like someday, and then I forget about them. But I really do want to play them. I think I even have Doom. My God, do I have Doom? I think I have Doom. I have to get on Doom. Anyway, so Bethesda did their thing. They announced that Fallout 76 is going to have a battle royale. Okay. It actually looked kind of. I mean, it actually looked kind of good, but it looked Fallout. It looked like a Fallout 76 battle royale, which to me kind of made me smile, and I don't know why. I don't understand how I know Fallout. The look of Fallout so well, and that's what I love about the culture of games. Like I know the look of Fallout so well that I can look at that battle royale and be like, yeah, that's a Fallout battle royale. But then again, anybody could probably do that. Anyway, just moving on. They did that, and that's a thing. So it's like whatever. I don't think I'm ever gonna play Fallout 76. Maybe someday. Maybe, I don't know. They announced Doom Eternal. Well, they didn't announce Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal's been. They showed Doom Eternal gameplay, which it looks nice. Like I said, I did not get to play Doom. And so like this it looked good to me. It looked as good as Doom did. And it's gonna have multiplayer. Their multiplayer is really weird, but I think I still want to play it. But anyway, Doom Eternal comes out November 22nd. That's interesting to me, but like it's not something that I'm just gonna jump to buy until I play Doom. Doom looked amazing. And this looks about as amazing. So to me, as far as I'm concerned, until I play Doom, this is just Doom for me, and I have that. So play that first, and then I'm gonna get to this. Wolfenstein Youngblood was announced, and that looked pretty cool too. Consists of I don't know, sisters who are daughters. I wasn't really paying attention to that, but like that, it did look good. July 22nd. That's coming out July 22nd. So that's what. Oh my God, that's next month. Oh my God. Deathloop Deathloop looked really good. So Deathloop is a game about. I just realized I'm just basically doing a recap. But no, this is all the stuff that I'm interested in. This is all the stuff that stuck out to me. I don't think I mentioned that at the beginning of the podcast, but this is all the stuff that stuck out to me. Deathloop is coming out eventually. It's basically I this one was another one I didn't really get the full story of, but basically there's a man and a woman who they're trying to kill each other. The man is stuck in a loop and he's trying to break it, but the woman is trying to keep the loop going, and they have to kill each other to achieve their goals, which I didn't understand at all, cuz like I'm like, well, when one of you dies, like what really keeps that from going? Like if they die, they come back to life later, and it just didn't really make any sense. It definitely looked like a tug of war kind of thing, because at a certain, like, the dude kept getting killed, like this girl, like, she was just like a badass, and she just kept getting him and getting him and getting him over and over again, and he would just die and wake back up on the beach and have to start over. But there was this one point in the trailer where he killed her, and I was like, okay, boom, it's broken now, right? But then, like, he has to fight her again, and I was like, all right, I don't know. It looks like one of those things where, like, actually, it kind of looks like a kind of roguelike thing, like, conceptual wise. Like, it looks like he has to get as far as he can. He has to make it out of wherever he is. But to do that, he has to keep killing her, and she has this respawn point. She keeps respawning, and you know, that's kind of what it looks like. She's trying to keep him at his respawn point, and he's trying to get out. It looks interesting. I'm excited to see more, but that's about it, because this doesn't have a release date either. Whatever. Ghostwire Tokyo, that one also doesn't have a release date. The only reason I'm interested in this is because it looks like, I don't know if anybody remembers this, but back when I was back in the 90s, there was this religious movie called Left Behind. And it was basically about the rapture. It was basically about people being taken to heaven, while the people who didn't believe, the sinners or whatever, were left behind. But one of the things that was really, I guess, the thing that I remember the most about the movies. I don't think I ever watched the movies. I actually watched the movies. I just remember seeing trailers and bits and pieces from when it would be on TV and my mom would be watching or whatever. But one of the things that always was, at least in my opinion, unique to that movie was the fact that people would just disappear out of their clothes. Like 1 minute you'd be talking to somebody, you look away, you look back, and it's just their clothes there. It's just their clothes there. Because they had gone to heaven, just out of nowhere, just like that. So that looked a lot like this. And I'm not, it's not that I think that that's going to be a part of the game or anything, but like the fact that people are just disappearing out of their clothes. I was like, yo, for real? That's, something's going on. Some paranormal shit. I really want to see that. So that's a game that has no release date, but that's a game that I really want to see more of. And I can't wait for them to announce more. I think they the team on Ghostwire is the team that developed Dishonor. Yeah. So anyway, that was Bethesda, and that was what stuck out to me. It was all right. It was just whatever. It was all right. But anyway, on to Ubisoft. So Ubisoft was really kind of underwhelming for me. I didn't care about a lot. The new Watch Dogs, I don't give a fuck about Watch Dogs. I just don't. And I cannot get myself to get into it. I bought the first Watch Dogs. And then I saw the second Watch Dogs, and that looked kind of cool. And this one looks kind of cool too, but it is not cool enough for me to give a fuck. I just don't. So, and the trailer was kind of funny. I think they had this old lady. Yeah, they had this old lady that, like, just tasered some dude and then, like, shot the shit out of another dude, shot his brains out, whatever. I was like, huh, funny, old lady doing gangster shit. Then there was Ghost Recon Breakpoint, which I'm interested in because, it's Ghost Recon. That's about it. I played a bit of Wildlands. I didn't get to play it a lot, so like I'm kind of hoping that I really play Breakpoint more. The beta there's gonna be a beta for it September 15th. So I should definitely be in my new house by then, my new place, and I'm gonna test that beta. And then Rainbow Six Quarantine. Rainbow Six is the one I completely missed. Like I bought that and I had like two different teams of people to play with me, and we did not do that. I hate having to wait for people to play things. Like I have to find like I have to start getting into communities. Like I'm hugely antisocial because people are so into their own thing that whatever. But the fact that like I have that game on PlayStation, I think I might have it on PC too, maybe, and I didn't get to play with anybody, so that bugs the hell out of me. So Rainbow Six Quarantine. Maybe by the time that comes out, I'll have found a group of people who are legit serious about that. Maybe I'll be more into communities. But yeah, I'm interested in that game. I'm not. It's not a day one thing, but it's not coming out until 2020 anyway. So whatever, we'll see about that. The thing that stood out the most to me, and if like Ubisoft fans heard this, they probably lose their minds because it's like it was just so left field and out there and just like so weird, but like these are the kind of games I really like because they try new things, they try different things, they have different concepts or whatever. It's just not the same thing over and over again, a sequel this, sequel that, whatever. Roller Champions. Roller Champions is it's actually kind of like Rocket League, but at the same time, not really at all. Roller Champions is this roller skate game where you basically God, I can't remember what the hell that game is called, where there's like a ring on the wall and you have to throw the ball through it. But it's basically that. It's basically a roller rink where it's in a circle and you have to there's two teams of three people, and you have to basically the object of the game is to get the ball, throw it through the hoop, avoid the other team because they will knock the shit out of you and pick up that ball and throw it in the ring themselves. The number of times you go around decides how much points you get. One time around is 1 point, two times around 3, 4 times. I got tripped up. One time around 1 point, two times around 3 points, three times around 5 points. And so far in the demo, we played the demo. Me and my boys played the demo, and it was it only lasted from the 10th, no, not the 10th, I think the 10th through to the 14th, which was yesterday. So we completely missed that very last time because we were supposed to play more of it. I got video game footage of it, so I'm gonna upload that. It was so much fun. It is unfortunately not coming out until 2020, but when it does, it's gonna be free to play. So God, get on that game. It is not going the route of Rocket League, which you had to pay for, which that wasn't a problem. Everybody got Rocket League for free anyway off of PlayStation Plus. That's how it got its popularity. It's got its game for free. So I guess in a way they actually are kind of following that example because that's how Rocket League got its boost. And Roller Champions is really good. There were a few things that were kind of weird. It was difficult for me personally to gain speed in that game. Even though there was there was a clear way to gain speed, but it was just difficult for me to do it. I was really bad at the timing and everything. But it has really fun mechanics, and it's just the way it works together. It's just really fun. It's a really fun game. I do think that has like a little bit more that it needs to be worked on, but it's a really fun game and it's free to play, and I really feel like it's gonna be, I don't want to say the next Rocket League because like it should really be its own thing. I hate saying shit like that, like, oh, this is the next whatever. Like I hate when people do that. It can be its own thing, and it's gonna be its own thing. It's really kind of unique to me. But anyway, Roller Champions, that comes out 2020, and I can't wait for that. I absolutely cannot wait for that. I am upset that it comes out 2020. But if you guys are working on the game, which I don't even know who the dev team is, but if they're working on the game, then I'll shut up and wait for it because there are some things I feel like need to be worked on. The music was great too. That's another thing. The music was great. The Roller Champions music. I need to look this up. There's a playlist on Spotify that somebody made, but they didn't include all of the music. I definitely noticed that. But it's different than Rocket League music, because Rocket League music, it's just like what, EDM, dubstep shit, and it's alright kinda. But it never really worked with me. I think I would usually have the music off because after a while it was kind of annoying in the first place, but like it would get more and more annoying as it went on. I don't know any of the songs or any of the artists in that game, but I already know. I think it's called Let's Eat Grandma. That's the name of a band. I learned that immediately because of how good that song that they had in Roller Champions was. I love that song. So that's another plus for me. Still talking about this game. Oh my god. Roller Champions. I think early 2020, maybe even March. Who knows? So at the end, I think at the end of it all, Gods and Monsters was something that was pretty interesting to me. It definitely, it looked Breath of the Wild inspired, which immediately caused people to call it a Zelda knockoff because people can't see, anything other than they can't see inspiration as anything other than copy and paste. That's all it is. If this resembles this thing at all in any way, shape, or form, then it's immediately a knockoff. I don't think it's a knockoff. It didn't look like a knockoff at all. Like it looked like, aesthetically it looked kind of like, it looked like Breath of the Wild, but it also looks like it takes place in Rome, which is interesting. And seeing the kid jump up and it looked like he kicked this dragon thing and then like brought a sword up to finish it in the sky. That don't look like Zelda to me. But I forgot Breath of the Wild. You can jump now. Whatever. I don't care. It didn't completely look. It definitely didn't look like a knockoff. Fuck those people. That did look interesting, but all they had was a concept trailer, which bugged the hell out of me. I really wish we could make these things taboo somehow, so that we don't have to just like. I don't really care to see that. Like, it's interesting, but I could get that same interesting feel from like a actual trailer or even gameplay. Excuse me. Drinking lemonade. Anyway, so that was Ubisoft, and next was Square Enix. So Square Enix had Dragon Quest Builders. I played the first one. I haven't beaten it yet, but Dragon Quest Builders is basically it's a Minecraft inspired game, but it is not Minecraft. So there are people, I know there are people who hate Minecraft for various reasons. I'm sorry, I apologize. I hit the table. There are people who hate Minecraft for various reasons. One of the biggest ones that I see is the fact that it has no story. You just do whatever you want. You just hop in, you build stuff, and boom, you do good. And I've always loved multiplayer games like that. Like, it's not like it's a single player game. If you have no friends, then I can understand why you hate it. It's because you hate your life. But it has a story. Dragon Quest Builders, it has a story, whereas Minecraft doesn't. And you're basically trying to bring light and building back to this land that has lost it, because people don't know how to build in this world. They've long since forgotten how to build or some shit like that. It's a really weird game. But I don't know how many hours. I should. God, where's my Switch? I've put in like maybe 10 hours already, and is that how much I put into it? 10 hours? No, that's not it. Anyway, I knew about Dragon Quest Builders 2 like a while ago, because I actually, I get on the Japanese eShop pretty frequently to check stuff out. I buy stuff from there, so like whenever there's a game that I'm interested in, 5 hours, Dragon Quest Builders for 5 hours. I love that game. I need to play more of it, and I will. But I saw that Dragon Quest Builders 2 was multiplayer, and I was like, oh man, I cannot wait for this to come out in the West, because I'm gonna get some people and we're gonna play story mode together. I don't think that's possible. I don't think you can play story mode like Dragon Quest Builders 2 is multiplayer, but I don't think that's the story is going to be multiplayer. It wasn't really clear about that. It just said that there's going to be multiplayer, but there was something about the way that they said it that made me think that you're not going to play the story multiplayer. But yeah, that stood out to me because I played Dragon Quest Builders and I'm interested in that. I did legitimately, when I first heard of Dragon Quest Builders, think that it was literally just copy and paste Minecraft with Dragon Quest, aesthetics and characters and stuff like that. But no, it has stuff. So that's gonna be July 12th. Dying Light 2, which I didn't even know Square Enix published. Now that I think about it, like, I don't know who published the first Dying Light. I guess it was Square Enix. But Dying Light 2 is coming out next year, and I am also very excited for this game because I played the fuck out of the first Dying Light by myself and with friends. And so I'm really excited for this one. I don't know if this one is going to have multiplayer, but I feel like there's no way they're going to take multiplayer out of the second one unless, they pull a Pokemon and it's just too much to add in. But Dying Light 2, it looks interesting. So interestingly enough, like I'm interested in this, but like I'm not crazy interested in it. Like I think I got Dying Light day one after hearing the concept of it and seeing the gameplay and hearing what it was all going to be about. I think I got that day one. But this one isn't going to be like that for me. It looks cool, and I am excited for it to come out, but I'm not actually trying to rush to get that. Then after that, it was let's see, Final Fantasy 14. They had their expansion, which I wish I could get into a Final Fantasy online game, but I am not now, nor will I ever pay a fucking subscription for something I bought. I'm not doing that shit. I cannot stand it, and I don't understand how that's still a thing. Like I don't give a fuck if I don't care who does it. I don't give a fuck if WoW does it. Like I have so much respect for the game of WoW. Like the fact that it's brought MMOs to this popularity, and it's like it's what one of the OG MMOs. Like it's the MMO. WoW is the MMO, but it's still you buy it and then you pay for it. I do not give a fuck for that. That's just that style. Like that shit's crazy to me to pay $60 for a game, and then after that, if you don't pay $15 for the next month and that's up, nigga, I don't buy any $60 game for a month. I either buy it to not play it at all or buy it to play it all the way, not halfway. Are you fucking crazy? I either buy a $60 game to let it sit there, or I buy it to play it, for the whole $60. It's just crazy to me. I don't feel like anybody can get their. I feel like most people can't get their $60 worth of a game within that first month. Like what is it? I think Final Fantasy 14 is like $15 a month. I feel like if you pay $60 for it, then you should at least get the first 4 months free. That shit makes complete sense to me. First 4, or hell, maybe even the first 3 months. I don't know. I feel like it should match. All right, if you're gonna pay for it, then like you're paying. I don't know. But you know what? What I would really like, I need to look this up. I would like for somebody to explain to me how that makes sense. Just how does that make sense? I think WoW and Final Fantasy 14 may be the only two MMOs that still do that. Because I think most every other MMO is either free, and that's it. But it has to make sense somehow because people are definitely 100% doing it. I think Final Fantasy's numbers are growing, and of course WoW's is because it's WoW. But that was a thing. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, also a thing. I actually loved playing this game back when it came out on the GameCube, but at the same time I really fucking hated it because it was only me. It was kind of like Minecraft. Like that game would have been more enjoyable if you had friends to play it with, and I didn't have friends to play it with. I had plenty of controllers, but I think I'm not sure. I think I might have played it once with my cousin, but he's not really into games like I am, so he wasn't really that into it. I think there was also some kind of convoluted way to play too. Like you need to connect the Game Boy to the console, some crap like that. I don't know, and I don't care. But now that's no longer going to be an issue. So Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles is coming out, and maybe I can find somebody to play that with. I'm definitely getting on the Switch though. That'll 100% increase my chances of being able to find somebody to play it with because it's the Switch, it's portable. Final Fantasy 8 Remastered is coming out. What is it? This year, sometime, maybe. Who knows? Oh yeah, by the way, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles is coming out sometime in the winter, I think. I think that's what they said. You can expect it in the winter. Final Fantasy VIII Remastered. This is something that I knew was going to happen. I'm not sure how many people knew it was going to happen because I think I did see some people just like they thought that it just wasn't going to happen. They're like, oh, it can't happen because of issues with this. Like it's copyright issues with the original singer of the song, blah, blah, blah. It can't come out. But I kind of knew it was coming out. So I did research on this back when Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 9, 10, 12, and 12 were all announced for. I think they were coming to. I think they were already out on PC. They were coming to the Switch. I think the Switch and whatever. Anyway, the Switch and PlayStation. Anyway, so when they were announced and 7 and 8 was skipped, I think I did research and I found somewhere that there was this article that was saying that the reason Final Fantasy 8 is probably not being released alongside the rest of them is because of the fact that these games came out in the 90s, right? These games came out in the 90s, and during this time, reservation of video game files was just not really a thing. Like, people didn't really think to save the data for these things for later. And this is something that like all forms of media has faced to a certain point, like especially movies. Like I'm not even going to try to get the numbers right, but like there's a huge amount of movies from the past that are just lost because like nobody thought to be like, yo, this is going to be something, in the future. So let's just save this. Let's save this now. Let's put these reels up somewhere and it can be, documented. Like, no, that just wasn't a thing. And so when movies started doing that, video games, as always, it had a while to catch up to that idea. And I think that the article explained that Final Fantasy 7 and 8 were a victim to this. So them remaking 7, them remastering 7 was kind of an ordeal because they had to kind of redo things from the bottom up or something like that. And that was the issue with 8. That they had to do that same thing so that so they were saying that this was going to come out eventually, but like the reason it's not coming out now is because it's still more than likely in development. And so when I read that article, I was like, okay, this makes 100% sense. And so I'm pretty sure, and I wanted to make a video about this, but I didn't do it. I wanted to make a video about this for a predictions video for the Smash Bros characters, because I feel like Squall is going to be a DLC character for Smash. And I was like, yo, they didn't put this out, and this is the whole reason why I looked this up. Because I had my own idea before I read that article. I was like, yo, they didn't put out the remaster for 8 because they're going to reveal that alongside revealing Squall for Smash. Clearly, that's not what happened. I still kind of think that Squall might get announced for Smash because there are rumors saying that what are they? Come on, focus. There are rumors saying that there's going to be a Square Enix character 100%, and that can be like, I don't know, one of 3 people. Not Sora in my opinion. It could be Squall, Tidus, or maybe Van from 12. Or maybe they might even do a thing where like they're doing with the Bowser babies, where like they're kind of skins but they're kind of not because they have their own movesets or whatever, and they just pile them all up with Cloud. Who knows? Anyway, I'm skipping past that because I'm talking about Square Enix right now, not Nintendo. So Final Fantasy VIII Remaster is coming out sometime this year. I'm excited for that. I only got to play a little bit of that, so I'm excited for that. And then Square Enix, they showed Final Fantasy VII gameplay, and my God, the gameplay. They showed the entire first mission, which was dope. Like, it looked beautiful, and like, oh my God, like I've seen that first mission. I played that first mission so many times, and seeing it like this, seeing like the actual I forget what the name was, but like the actual robot, it was just all over the place. It got knocked off, it jumped up, it was running on the walls, it shot the ceiling up. It was like they made it cinematic, and I was like, yo, no wonder this game is taking so long. Like, they're taking every turn-based fight, and just making it a grandiose experience. Like they're turning it into a show. And so I was like, yo, that's amazing. And then they showed more what is it? More footage, whatever. Not gameplay. They showed more cinematic. And I don't know how long this has been a thing, but like there was a point where Jessie, the girl, who's part of the team who dies, she was on the bike with Cloud, and that never happened in the original game. So I think it's clear to everybody that they're trying to tell they're trying to not tell a different story, but they're trying to expand the story, especially since that's kind of what they said at one point. I think, I don't know, I don't really pay attention to what they're saying. I'm just paying attention to what they're showing. But I think they're really, really going for a more fleshed out story, which I think Final Fantasy 7 was probably pretty fresh. I think Final Fantasy was pretty fleshed out in its own, but they're really trying to do something different here, and so I'm excited for it. People are upset about the fact that it's going to be multiple discs and episodes or whatever, but I think they're going for something huge, probably something bigger than they've maybe ever done before, and I legitimately think that the first episode of Final Fantasy might not be like the first disc. I think the first episode is probably going to end with the tower collapsing, with the plate falling. I think that might legitimately be where the first episode ends. We might have more episodes than we had disc. I don't know, but like if that's the case, if they're legitimate, because like Jesse's still alive, Jesse and the rest of the crew, they're still alive. I think they're gonna be around for the entire first episode. And if that first episode is 80 hours long, yo, I don't know, do that. You know what I mean? Like I'm not really. I think they're trying to make the story longer. They're trying to put more. They're trying to give us more meat to our bones, to our food. They're trying to give us more to chew on. I'm excited for that. So that was dope. But the gameplay is something I want to talk about, because like it really looked like there was that the gameplay was kind of turn based. And let me explain that. Not completely turn based, obviously. It's an action game now, but it was the point where the game lets you slow everything down, and you could choose one of your moves, right? And I saw that, and I was like, yo, that's kind of like I mean that kind of makes it like kind of turn based. I can't remember, there were a few games that have done that, like a few action games that have done that, where like you can slow down everything and then pick your move and then go. But like that just, it just seems like an advanced version of the ATB, the active time battle thing that they had with the original Final Fantasy 7, because they introduced that in 7 and trademarked it, I think, which is weird, but whatever. And it seems like they're still trying to hold on to that. That's the main point I'm trying to make. It seems like they're still trying to hold on to that, with that whole thing with the, picking your moves. Because I think time just slows down. It doesn't completely stop. I think it just slows down. But you can pick your moves, and I probably need to see the trailer again. But there was just something about it that made me think, oh, they're really incorporating like turn-based gameplay to this. Excuse me. I should have brought water. I did not bring water. I just started this up because like I was tired of waiting. Like I said, it's been like a whole month and a half since I've done this, so here we are. But yeah, that was all of Square Enix's conference. The Final Fantasy 7 is still not revealed. I thought that it was going to be revealed, because they said that the first release is going to have 2 discs, and I was like, okay, so that's what it is. It's just going to have 2 discs. It's not going to be a multi-episode thing. But apparently, that's just episode 1. And that's another thing that I didn't really catch on, because like it has 2 discs, but they talked about how the first disc was going to have enough of content or something like that. I don't know. I really need to look more into that. But it's just the whole situation with the release of the games is just, it's interesting. I hope it means something. I hope it means a great game. People are upset and they want it to just come out, but like it's not gonna be the same thing. It's gonna be something else. So I'm really excited for that. Oh right, and I forgot. The Avengers was a thing. Oh my god! So the Avengers was a thing. It just I was kind of excited for it when I heard that Square Enix was making the Avengers game. Um, I completely forgot that Square Enix has huge hits and misses. Like they are drastic with it. They will their hits will be hits, and then their misses will be complete fucking misses, and it's just like it's just crazy, man. So like you have to be real careful with any of their games. Like I just bought, what was this game? Last Survivor or Lost Survivor or something like that. That mech game that came out. I bought that and it just ended up not being that good. So Avengers, I feel like the Avengers is probably going to be another one. Like it's supposed to look good, but it doesn't really. They didn't really show a lot of gameplay, if any gameplay at all. Because somebody said it was gameplay, but I didn't see gameplay. I guess it just didn't stick out to me, and I sure shit wasn't gonna watch it again before this podcast because I just did not. I didn't care about what I saw. Uh, but yeah, the Avengers was definitely a thing that happened at the end of Square Enix's E3, and they waited. They kept us waiting the entire time and just kept showing us stuff and just stuff and stuff and stuff. Oh, you know what? I forgot. Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, the mobile game. I play mobile games. That came out. There was a trailer for that, and it looked like they were turning it into 3D. I'm not sure about that. That was weird. I lost my account. Like my account is still connected, and they still send me notifications. But like everything that I had on that game is just gone now, and I think I spent like a little bit of money on that game, so that bugged me. I don't know if I want to get into that, but that was the thing. Anyway, Avengers was a disappointment. It just was. That's just what it was. It was a disappointment, and like the fact that none of the characters look like the characters I'm used to, that was gonna be an obvious thing, but at the same time, that definitely doesn't help the fact that it was just boring. The Avengers thing was just boring. I didn't care for it. I fuck it, fuck it right now. Fuck it. Like I don't whatever. So that was Square Enix's whole thing. It was pretty decent to me. Yeah, it was pretty decent. So now we go on to Nintendo, and I'm probably gonna have a little bit more to say about Nintendo because of Pokemon. So Nintendo had I didn't even get all of it, like everything that Nintendo was coming out with. I just got like a few things. Like I said, the things that stuck out to me, the things that I can still remember, like till today. Those are the things that I'm going for. So Astral Chain, they showed more gameplay of Astral Chain. It still looks good. It it looks good. I can't wait for it to come out. It comes out August 30th, so it's coming out this year. Oh, you know what? I don't know why. There were certain points last week when I thought August was next week. I mean next month. I don't know what the hell's wrong with me. But anyway, yeah, Astral Chain still looks good. I'm still not sure what it's about, and I'm pretty sure there's something somewhere that that talks about it. But this is another one of those games where I'm interested in playing it, but I'm okay with finding out about it when it comes out because I like what I see. I like the gameplay. It looks cool. It kind of reminds me a bit of, and I don't know why it reminds me of this, but it's kind of looking like a Persona kind of thing. And a little bit of what was that one game that Persona crossed with that it was Persona Cross Fire Emblem, but it ended up being like I can't remember what that game is, but like the art style kind of looks like that to me. So that's interesting. But I guess that's just the Nintendo's thing, or whatever. So yeah, Astral Chain is coming out August 30th, and I'm interested in that. I want to see that. I want to play it. Probably will. Definitely. Anyway, then they had Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing looks nice. I've never played an Animal Crossing game, but I always hear so much about Animal Crossing, and seeing people like when what's his name, Tom Nook at the end of the Smash Bros. Ultimate like character when they revealed that all the characters were there, and then at the very end, they announced that what's her name, like the little I can't remember her name, the little dog woman, who's in Smash Bros. They announced that she was going to be in the game. And then at the end of that, they showed like Tom Nook talking or whatever, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna be coming back whenever." And so like the game was supposed to be set for 2019. Seeing people cry about, like, people were crying about that. People were losing their minds over that game. And so I was like, yo, I have to play this game to see what it's about. I didn't want to buy any of the old games though. I just wanted to wait for this new game because I feel like a lot of the games that they're releasing on the Switch, like, they're putting their all into, like, whether it's good or bad, they're putting their all into, and I want to play that. So Animal Crossing, as much as, like, I looked at it and I there wasn't anything where I was like, oh man, oh my god, like, because I don't really know the series. I'm interested in playing that. That's coming out. The date got pushed back to 2020, to next year, which is obviously for good reason. They want to polish the game up a little more. So that's a thing. I'm pretty sure there are plenty of people who are upset about that, but they're gonna get a good game, and they're definitely getting a game because this is this doesn't happen a lot with Nintendo where they have to push games back, and it's happened like twice within this past year already. It's like the first half of the year, and they've already pushed 2 games back. So yeah, Animal Crossing coming out. At least Animal Crossing still has a release date though, because Metroid didn't get one at all. But anyway, moving on to Pokemon. Oh boy, so Pokemon got revealed earlier, a little bit earlier this year, and then they showed actual gameplay and went over everything for their E3 this year. And was it actually no the now that I think about it, was the reveal for Pokemon separate? I don't even remember when Pokemon came out. Well, when the reveal came out. What I want to talk about isn't Pokemon though. Like, I do want to talk about Pokemon because it looks great. It's open world. I guess that's the term. People keep saying open world, and I don't really think I understand what that means, because it doesn't. I don't think it's going to be any different from any other game. But it seems like people are saying that it's open world because it's 3D and it has camera movement, which is that what open world is? Because me personally, I guess I don't know. I've never really considered it, because like open world is a word that's usually associated with games like Grand Theft Auto and games like that, whatever. But like, it's just I don't know. I guess I've never really thought about like what open world actually means, because it seems to be exclusively for 3D games where you can move the camera around and you can go wherever you want, as opposed to 2D games where you can't move the camera around but you can still. I don't know. Whatever. But yeah. So it's open world now. You can move the camera, and they revealed. God, what did they? I think they just showed gameplay. Actually, I think that's what it is. They showed gameplay at the end of. God, it's real fuzzy to me now. Anyway, what I want to talk about is for Nintendo's E3. I think this was after the whole conference. They mentioned that not all Pokemon were going to be in Sword and Shield, and that upset a lot of people, including me at first. I got upset at first too, but it upset a lot of people because it just doesn't seem like it's something that should be a thing. One thing that's really weird to me is that there are a lot of people who are saying, they're defending this, obviously, because, in their eyes, they understand. There are a lot of people who are saying, they keep using the phrase, what people have to understand. They keep saying things like, what people have to understand is that, there's like over 1,000 Pokemon now, and you have to fit them all into this game. And yeah, that explanation makes sense, but to me it doesn't make sense to imply that people don't understand that, especially when that's what's being said. People like the reason for it. They've stated that the reason for the Pokemon not all Pokemon being able to be included in the Sword and Shield games is because of balancing and development time issues. They couldn't fit them all in, and I think it was Masuda said that at a certain point, the company knew that they weren't going to be able to do this, right? And to me, I feel like it has to be at the time they dropped the tagline "Gotta catch 'em all." That's another thing I keep seeing people do, is they keep referencing the "Gotta catch 'em all" tagline when that hasn't been a tagline since like the third or fourth generation. It's been like almost a decade since they've used that tagline. So what the fuck are you talking about? Anyway, I think it was around that. It was probably around that time, because like the reason they dropped it was because they was like, yeah, well, there's getting to be a lot of Pokemon. So I'm feeling like around that time they probably also were like, oh, we're gonna get to a point where we can't fit these Pokemon in anymore. Anyway, so because of that, it's weird to me that people are implying that people who are upset about it don't understand that at a certain point all these Pokemon can't be fit into the game. But this is a counter argument. I feel like it's the exact opposite. I feel like people who are upset, they understand the best that the Pokemon can't all be fit in. But the reason we're upset, the reason that we're not happy about the fact that like they're saying, oh, when this game comes out, you're not gonna have all the Pokemon available. Like not all the Pokemon's data is going to be in the game. We're in our minds, we're just like, yo, delay the game then. Like take some time off to put more Pokemon in. If you get close to this date and you say to yourself, hey, we're not gonna be able to fit all these in, then push it back a little bit, man. Better yet, don't make a date for something that you've known for a while was gonna be a little bit more difficult. Like they don't have to have a Pokemon game every year. And it's for that reason that they're just deciding to just, hey, push the game out. We had Ultra Sun and Moon last year and Sun and Moon the year before that, blah 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 before that. Just push the game out, and actually no, last year was Let's Go. The year before that was Ultra Sun. The year before that was Sun. You don't have to have a game every time. You're Pokemon. You make money off of your name alone. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. And so because of that, like this game is gonna get called rushed. It's gonna be labeled as a rushed game because like this is the first game in the entire main series that is not gonna have all of the data. Like between generations 2 and 3 and between generations 2 and 3, 3 still had the data for the Pokemon, but they just didn't have a way to, they didn't have the technology to switch the Pokemon from the old games to the new games. We don't have that issue anymore. So there's no real reason why they can't all be in a new game unless the game is being rushed. And that's what people are mostly saying. And this is why people are upset. It's not because they don't understand that at a certain point, we couldn't fit them all in. That was just a ridiculous statement to me. But that's apparently what people are saying. But anyway, to me, this might be a good thing. Like I was kind of upset about it at first because I also felt like it was being rushed and that they could take some time. Like, yeah, there might be some people who might feel upset, but it's gonna come out eventually. And we've seen gameplay, we've seen what it is, and we know that this game isn't not gonna come out. Like this isn't some other dev team. It's Nintendo. But anyway, I was upset about it at first. And then I started thinking a little bit more about it, about the possibilities and like about what they could do. A lot of people are thinking that they're gonna either use DLC or use updates to get the rest of them in the game. And it's weird that people are saying DLC. I don't know why people keep saying DLC. Like I know it won't be paid for DLC, but it's still weird to me that people are thinking that it's gonna be like they're gonna put out free DLC on the store for people to download instead of just making it an update. That's literally almost the same thing, except one is kind of automatic and the other one you have to go to the store. It's just weird that people are saying DLC. I don't know. I think we're too into the idea of DLC. But so I'm gonna make a video. I want to make a video on this later on that goes in more into depth about this. But since they're getting to the point where they can't fit all of the Pokemon into one game, especially the new games, the way I see it, this gives reason to have a stadium game, to have a new stadium game, and I mean, like to me, that just makes perfect sense. I know it's probably something that's absolutely 100% not gonna happen, because it seems like they've given up on stadium games since the fourth gen. But this is the perfect reason for it. If you can't fit all the Pokemon into one game, one adventure game, then make a game that's just for the Pokemon, so that they can just battle, and then we can use those Pokemon there. That way, you don't have to worry about updating a game and trying to dump all this data into this one game. You don't have to worry about coming out with new releases and trying to fit those in and being like, oh, guys, we're not gonna be able to fit all the Pokemon in the game. No, you don't have to do that. Just start up a new series of stadium games. Not even a state like it doesn't even have to be a series of stadium games. It can be like Smash. Actually, you could just put out one for every console, and then you can just like update it for like any new things like that. That way you don't have to like restart all every single time like you have to do with the Pokemon games. Anyway, I want to go into depth with that in another video, because I really want to go through like why I think that this might be a thing, or at least why this would be a really good idea. I don't know if they'll do it, but I really have I want to talk about it later. But yeah, that was a thing for Nintendo's God, I don't know. I feel like, who did I watch that with? Because I did the reaction to the Pokemon thing by myself, but then I was watching the gameplay in Discord with everybody else. So I guess there was no Pokemon information during the E3. Maybe there was. Whatever. Anyway, so moving on. Pokemon comes out November 15th. Moving on. Another thing that I really want to talk about is kind of a problem is the Dragon Quest characters that were announced for Smash. Oh my god. So I've tried to get into Dragon Quest myself, but I could never really get into it. I started off with 9. I really wanted to play 8. I think 8 came out on like the PlayStation 2, and I only think that because I remember wanting to play 8 back when I lived in Kansas. Well, I was like 13 or something like that, and I knew about Dragon Quest back then. So I wanted to play back then, but that didn't happen. But 9 came out for the DS, and it was just it was cool. It was a turn-based game. It was an RPG. It was cool. I liked it, but I just couldn't really get into it. You can make your own characters. Like you could name your own characters and like your whole team and stuff like that, and it was really cool. I really hope I can pick that game up again and try again. I really liked everything about it, but I just didn't really like it enough to actually really get into it and just like really play it all the way. But anyway, so they announced 4 characters from the series in that game. They announced the latest character who was in Dragon Quest 11. They announced the character from Dragon Quest 8. I don't know who the guy with the Atlantean look to him, like he like had a crown that had like fish fins on it. But then they also announced, I think his name is Edric or Erdrick. I don't know his name, but I do know that he was the very first hero of Dragon Quest, and he was in the game. And it's Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest is a huge game, and it's been in America for a very long time, which is something that people don't know about. Evident by the fact that people lost their minds when they saw Dragon Quest in the game, but for all the wrong reasons and in all the wrong ways. People are upset that Dragon Quest characters are in the game. They feel like it was a disappointment. I guess they didn't go crazy about it, but they feel like Dragon Quest characters in in Smash or being announced for Smash was a disappointment. I have to assume that it's because they feel like it was a wasted slot, because people feel like that a lot of time. They feel like, oh, this character got in, then that's a slot that was wasted for another character, which is always a weird argument to me, because just because that character is in, that doesn't mean that if that character wasn't in, that your character would have gotten in. That doesn't even mean that there would have been an extra slot. Like, that slot could have, air quotes slot, that it could have been a thing that was only for that character. Like, for example, if they didn't put Dragon Quest characters in, that doesn't necessarily mean that there would have been a different. That doesn't necessarily mean that there would have been a different character in that second slot. It could just mean that we would have had 4 instead of 5. Excuse me, I have to take another sip. Oh man, because my throat is getting dry. I need some water. We have water over there, but God, that's like 2 steps. God, I don't know. I'll just wait here. We're almost done. But that doesn't necessarily mean that there would have been another character in that slot. Like, it could mean that there is 2 characters. I mean, not 2 characters, 4 characters instead of 5. But anyway, I mean, and that's me saying that, even knowing that Nintendo knows that all these characters want to get in, but like I said, that just doesn't necessarily mean that they're gonna get in if another character doesn't. So like that was the thing. And I say that I want to believe that that's the reason why people are getting upset, because that kind of makes sense to me. What doesn't make sense is I was in my boy Chosen's Discord, and I was talking to I don't even know who I was talking to, but it was somebody who they asked me about or they mentioned the Dragon Quest characters being in Smash, and I was like, yeah, like it's cool or whatever, and he stated that he didn't like it. He didn't really like the idea that the Dragon Quest character was in the game, because he doesn't care about Dragon Quest. I was like, all right, that's cool. And he's like, well, don't you think it's like it's kind of a disappointment? I was like, well, no, it's not a disappointment. Like, it's I mean, it's a character. I'm gonna be cool with any character being in Smash regardless, because like it's Smash. Like, regardless of what it is, it's still a fun game, and even with all the characters that are in there that I'm not playing, I still have characters that I am gonna play. It'd be one thing if I absolutely had no characters to play, then I probably would feel some kind of way, but at the same time, I probably wouldn't be playing Smash, so I wouldn't care. I just don't see a reason to really get so upset about it, Excuse me. So I told him, I was like, just because like being upset about Dragon Quest being in the game doesn't mean that your favorite character would have got it. And I basically told him that same thing, but then he told me, he was like, well, I don't have a character that I want to be in the game in place of Dragon Quest characters. And I was like, well, then what's the problem with the Dragon Quest characters? He was like, it's just disappointing, and that was it. That was what he believed, that it's just disappointing. And so there are people out there who legitimately feel this way. They don't really have something else. They don't really think that somebody else should have had that spot. They just think that it's disappointing that Dragon Quest characters are in, because they don't like Dragon Quest. Some people don't. Some people, there was one person who thought that Dragon Quest was just not a game that came out in the West until recently or whatever, which is not true, because it has a long history of being released in the West. And then they had an issue with Dragon Quest because, well, it might have come out on the West, but it didn't come out on Nintendo consoles, which, joke's on you, because it started off on Nintendo consoles in the West for a long time. And then he talked about how the majority of Dragon Quest games, it's just a bunch of stuff. Like, the people who are upset about Dragon Quest characters being in Smash Bros, in my opinion, they are people who think that Smash Bros is an American-made game. And I don't see any evidence from them that proves otherwise, because they're getting upset about Japanese characters being in a Japanese game. And it's just it just shows the selfishness behind it all. Because if you look at, if you can look up compilations of Japanese people just losing their minds that these Dragon Quest characters are in. Like, I'm pretty sure that there are plenty of other people in America, or any English speaking country, or any other country at all outside of Japan, who are happy about these Dragon Quest characters. But like, Dragon Quest is been in Japan for way longer, and it's more of a thing over there than it is over here. That's something that I feel like is 100% true. Like, Dragon Quest, as long as I've known about it, I've known about Dragon Quest since forever. But even then, I still know that it doesn't have like as much of a presence here as it does in Japan. So seeing them like get their character, it was the same thing to me as getting Banjo and Kazooie in Smash. And I can't imagine people in Japan being like, yo, don't you look at this stupid American European looking fucking cartoon thing. Don't you think that it's kind of a disappointment that it's in? Like, I mean, who cares about Banjo-Kazooie? This is Japan, all right? Smash Bros is a Japanese made game from a Japanese company. Like, and they wasted a slot on this thing. Like, I can't imagine that. It probably happens, but that is just unbelievably selfish, especially considering, seeing all of the compilations I've seen of people going crazy over Banjo. Like, what if, like, it's probably the same thing over there? It just doesn't make sense to get upset about it. Everybody's getting their character, and everybody's getting characters, and that's the main thing. Dragon Quest and Banjo-Kazooie are two series that people have been wanting to cross over into Smash for a very long time, and we're finally getting that. We're getting our Banjo-Kazooie. They're getting their Dragon Quest. There are people in America who love Dragon Quest, and I don't see what the issue is. It just seems incredibly ignorant and selfish to get upset about the Dragon Quest characters being included in the game. If there's not even a good chance that your character would have been included in the first place. It's just crazy to me. But yeah, that was dope. I liked the reveal. Like I said, like I'm not super into Dragon Quest, but I do, since I'm into RPGs, I have always wanted to play the other games. I've played the 9th one and it was alright. I couldn't get into it that well, but I did like it. So seeing Dragon Quest characters and seeing the way that they came in, like, that was dope. And there's 4 of them. People had so much confusion about how those characters would be played in the game because there's 4 of them. It was like, oh, they're just skins. Yeah, kinda, because I guess Larry and I don't know, whatever the rest of those Bowser babies, their names are. I guess they're skins of each other too, but at the same time, they can all do different things, can't they? Because I'm pretty sure they can. They have their own kind of skill set or whatever. They're not drastically different, but they're different enough. I'm pretty sure the Dragon Quest characters are going to play like them. And that's interesting to me. I'm actually interested in playing. I can't wait to play it because I bought the pass. And that's another thing. If you bought the pass and that's why you're upset, you bought the pass and now you're getting characters that you don't care about, that's your problem. That's something that you got to own up to, because you bought that pass knowing that you don't know who these characters are. It could be anything. We could have gotten Barney, the Teletubbies, Arthur. We could have gotten a bunch of characters that nobody wanted, but if you bought that, you had to be prepared for that. It's crazy. Anyway, Banjo-Kazooie in Smash. Oh my god, I 100% recorded my reaction to this. I didn't get a chance to put the entire Nintendo Direct reaction up because I ended up not being like the volume of the desktop was about as loud as my volume, and so oftentimes it was just louder than me, and that, oh my god, I can't believe I let that happen. It was the last thing. I recorded everything else and didn't get that. I didn't get that right. But yeah, one thing I definitely got good was the Banjo-Kazooie reaction. I put that up. If you want to see my reaction to that, please go ahead and check that out. It's on my channel, and it's legitimately the best video I have on this channel because it's doing the best. It's doing better than any other video I put out recently, because it's not a Let's Play and it's a reaction. But yeah, like Banjo-Kazooie, I am a huge fan of Banjo-Kazooie. I've only played two of the games. There's like four or five Banjo. There's actually five Banjo-Kazooie games out. There's Banjo-Kazooie. There's Grunty's Revenge. There's Banjo Pilot, Banjo-Tooie, and Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. And I've only played two of those. But like regardless of that, like I've played the first one so many times as a kid. I love the hell out of it. And I'm just when I heard the possibility of Banjo-Kazooie being in Smash Bros. I don't know how long ago, like back in Melee probably or whatever. Like I of course I wanted that too. Like I always waited. Yeah, I remember that because like my cousins used to talk about it. I remember that now. My cousins used to talk about it too. Even all the way back then, like before like the internet was really popping and stuff like that. Like even then, people were talking about Banjo-Kazooie being in the game. So yeah, that's been a thing since forever, son. I was like 9 or 10 when I first started hearing about that. Like maybe 8 or 7. I don't know. It was a very long time ago. It's been 2 decades. 2 decades, I think, since I heard about that. Almost 2 decades. 2 decades or almost 2 decades. Either way, 20 years or around 20 years since I first heard about that. And about 20 years later, we finally got it. Man, like that's crazy to me. Like it's been so long and then it just happens. And I know there are a lot of people who they predicted this, and a lot of leakers who are credible or whatever. They're like, oh, Banjo-Kazooie is gonna be in this and this one, whatever. I say a lot. It's not a lot. It wasn't a lot of leakers who were credible, whatever. But there are a lot of people who air quotes, they predicted that Banjo-Kazooie was gonna be in this game, and I keep hearing about that, which is crazy to me because people predict that Banjo-Kazooie is going to be in every game. Like, how the hell is this different from the last one? Just because it was right. Like, if you keep throwing rocks at a busy highway, you eventually you're gonna. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but basically, like you're not right just because you got it. You predicted it, air quotes, on a game and it eventually came out. It eventually happened, and all of a sudden means that you knew the entire time. No, you didn't know the entire time. You didn't know any more than you knew last time, and you were wrong. And nobody did. These leakers, none of them. Like, there's always been, like, confidential information, like, oh, Banjo-Kazooie is going to be in the next Smash. It's always been that way. Like, it's not any different. Like, I don't feel like anybody should get credit for this unless they knew that Banjo-Kazooie wasn't going to be in the last few games. But oh, this one, I know it is. Like, all of you people who did that, like all of you people who knew, it was like, you were like, oh, I don't see Banjo-Kazooie coming to these games, but then you see Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and you're like, oh my god, I'm pretty sure it's time. Shout out to all you people. And I'm going to include myself in that because, I mean, that was me. I mean, I know that now makes it sound like, I was just hyping myself up or whatever, setting myself up for that, but fuck you. But no, like that was, I really wish I wasn't so, like, making videos wasn't so difficult for me, because I really wanted to make that as a reveal. Joker, matter of fact, I think I said it in when did I talk about my reveal? I think I talked about my reveal in the second video, maybe the first or second podcast. One of those two. I talked about the people who I had on my list of reveals, and I wanted to make a video about it. I have to go back and check that out. But it was definitely Banjo-Kazooie was on it. Joker was on it, and I think I might have even talked about, like, one of the Final Fantasy characters too, because I did say that. I forgot about Noctis. I didn't mention Noctis when I was talking about the Final Fantasy characters potentially in Smash. Noctis is definitely a candidate, just not Sora. And probably Geno too. You know what? I don't know how many people are, because like Geno is another character that people have been wanting for forever. I'm sorry, I'm messing with the mic. I gotta stop doing that. Geno was another character that has been rumored and speculated and wanted for years, and Geno is a Square Enix character. People know this. But one thing that's interesting to me is how I don't know who did it, because I can't remember who made it, but like whoever made Geno, they were talking about, or Super Mario and the 7 stars or whatever it's called, the RPG. They talked about how they didn't know about the popularity of Geno in the West. They didn't know about it at all, and I think for that reason, like they didn't include Geno or in later games. Like Geno has only been in that one game, and like he's had a cameo appearance in another one. But that information, like I think that information about Geno came out about a year ago, where like the developers or whatever was like, oh yeah, I didn't know about it. I didn't know about that. I could be wrong about that, but it doesn't matter. I think that that's gonna be a thing. I think that was a part of my list. I can't remember. I don't know, but anyway, yeah, Banjo-Kazooie. Oh my God, the Dragon Quest characters are coming out this summer, which is like what this is now. We're in summer. Come on. And Banjo-Kazooie, I think in the winter. I don't really remember. I thought did it say fall? It might have said fall. So I'm looking forward to both of those. But yeah, that was all of E3. And then there was the whole Konami thing, which I completely missed. But I'll check that out later. I don't really care about whatever Konami had to say, because unless it's something related to an amazing Yu-Gi-Oh game, then I don't care. And they just released one that was kind of trash, so I don't care. I want to see a virtual reality Yu-Gi-Oh game, or at least a good one. And if it's not that, then I don't care. Because like, what else does Konami have that I care about? Because I mean, they're gonna kill Metal Gear, so nobody cares about that. But yeah, that was pretty much it. That was oh my God, I completely forgot. The Breath of the Wild sequel was announced. Didn't show any gameplay because it's now in development, and dear God, can we please stop doing that? Like, concept trailers, they have to stop. The it's now in development thing. That to me, whenever I like, whenever some developer or whatever, they make an announcement and they're like, they show this like little trailer and then they're like, now in development. That always makes me feel like, oh, they started this a week ago. And decided to show us a trailer about it, because it could literally end up being drastically different. But yeah, that was it. The Breath of the Wild. I didn't really care too much about that. I was kind of surprised that people like went crazy about it, because like this was something that was either leaked or announced already. I think it was probably leaked, but like it even so, like, it still wasn't really anything. It was just an announcement. Like, did we really think that there wasn't gonna be? But yeah, like they talked about like a sequel to Breath of the Wild like months ago. I don't know who it was. Excuse me. I don't know who it was, but like there was a mention of a Breath of the Wild sequel, like a month or two ago, and so like when I saw this, I was just like, okay, we know about this. It looked like DLC to me. I think that's the biggest thing about it, is that it legitimately just looked like DLC to me. So I didn't really care about it, And then finding out that it's a sequel, I still was like, all right, well, it still looked like DLC. So I never got to finish Breath of the Wild, so maybe that has something to do with it. But I mean, I've played a lot of Breath of the Wild, and I love the game. So I don't know. I don't know. It just didn't seem like it was anything to go crazy about, and it sure as hell wasn't no Banjo-Kazooie for Smash Bros. Reveal. Let me tell you that. But yeah, like somebody screamed. Like I saw a reaction trailer I saw a reaction video and somebody screamed, like lost their voice screaming. But yeah, that was E3, and those are all of the games that I was either completely interested in or slightly interested in. Everything else, it just didn't stick out. And that's not to say that I think that they're terrible or that I don't care about them. They just didn't stick out. Like I'll probably see one later on, like in a week or two, like, oh, I didn't talk about that one. But yeah. I really wanted to talk about those. I really wanted to talk about E3 because I don't get to talk about games on my podcast a lot. I always have these other things to talk about, and I still have things on the list to talk about that I haven't gotten to. But gaming is a pretty huge part of my life, and I don't talk about it on my podcast. It's only been 4 episodes, so it's not like I've gone so long without talking about it. But E3 happened, so I really wanted to talk about it. So this is that, and that is this. This was an especially long episode too, because we've hit like what, a minute and an hour and 40 minutes. Oh my god. I'm so sorry I've been clearing my throat this entire time. I need to remember to bring water next time. I just had like a sip of lemonade left in a bottle that just happened to be here, and I was trying so hard to make that last throughout the entire podcast. Because my mouth is dry. And I think I may legitimately have been speaking more in this podcast than I have in any one. I compiled all the notes like right before the podcast. I didn't have any, but I knew exactly what I wanted to talk about. And still, I came out with this much. I knew it would be about 2 hours long. But whatever. It was E3. It was E3. Okay? But anyway, God, like that was, oh my God, this was a pretty good E3. I like I said, most everything was just like, just cinematic trailers and stuff like that, which I didn't really care for. Games that I'm trying to figure out, like, what games am I 100% going to get this year? Because I'm really trying to like reel back on that, because I have a huge spending problem, clearly. I keep buying games and then not playing them. So I'm really trying to like look at games and be like, what game am I 100% going to play this year and next year potentially, if it's still not done. And so far, that's obviously number one. It's obviously going to be Pokemon. I'm probably going to get both games so that I can make content on one and just play regularly the other. And then like everybody who I play these games with at work, they're getting the game. So that's dope. So Pokemon is definitely going to be one of them. Astral Chain, I want to say that's going to be one of them, but if I'm being 100% honest with myself, that's probably, that's probably not going to be one of them. And that's about it. Like I'm not playing Dragon Quest Builders because I haven't finished the first one. Roller Champions isn't coming out till next year, but I really want it to come out this year. Everything else is a no. Yeah, that's it. I guess Pokemon and Astral Chain. So that is my E3 thing. That's how I felt about E3. But anyway, that's gonna be the end of the podcast because I'm losing my voice at this point, and the water is right behind my monitor. I can't reach that. So, oh man, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I know it's been a long time. It's been a month, and this is supposed to be a bi-weekly podcast. So we've missed 2 episodes. This is supposed to be episode 6, and it's episode 4. That's a no-no. But this is something that we should get ready, be ready for in the future, because I am going to be pretty busy, especially next month, because next month I'm definitely moving out. I wanted to move out before the end of this month, and I might still be able to do that, maybe. But next month is definitely going to be a new experience for me, because I'm definitely going to be moved out either in that month or before that month, and I'm going to have to just deal with, I'm going to be on my own for once. Like, before I had a roommate, and now I'm like, fuck all roommates. Anybody living with me, that's a no. I don't want anybody to live with me. So we're going to see about that. But yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the podcast, and I hope to see you next time. Next time is going to be the 29th. Ooh, which is the low. Oh, which is the last day I'm going to be in the at my job, at my facility. So let's see. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. And then I go back to those 3 days. Oh, actually, no. I'm going to be gone on the 20th. I'm going to have let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to have 4 days off. And I have to go back to night shift, where I will be making more money. So yeah, that's when the next podcast is going to be on the 29th. Definitely this time, probably. We'll see about that. I'll do my best. But I was gonna say something else. I'm starting to get distracted. I'm playing around with the microphone and playing around with this little Velcro thing. It's time for me to get off. So I really hope you enjoyed the podcast. Comment below, dear God, if anybody is hearing this, comment below and let me know about what you thought about E3, about what you thought, what games you're really excited for, what you're looking forward to seeing. Let me know what you didn't like, unless it's the Dragon Quest thing. Cause I don't need to know why you didn't like that. It's clear people don't really think too much about the world except for themselves. But yeah, let me know what you thought about the. I mean, there wasn't anything to say about the Avengers trailer. It was just nothing. It was just whatever. Let me know what you liked. Just do that. Let me know what you liked. Let me know what you're excited for. Let me know how all of E3 was for you. Jeez. All right, and that's it. I'm gonna get off. All right, that's it for me. We'll do this again later. 28th, 29th. Peace. Dear God. Oh my God. God.